Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the new lesson number 7, Decolonization to Political Integration of India. Student, total we have 12 chapters. From that, HSC board has deleted one chapter, that is chapter number 11. So now total we have 11 chapters. From that, 6 chapters we have finished. Now we are going to move towards 7th chapter. In this chapter we are going to talk about the decolonization of India. Okay, so before going towards decolonization, first one more time we have to remind about colonization. So what is colonization? Colonization, it is a process or it is the action in which people they try to settle down, they try to get establish their control over the people from different area. Okay, so here the some people they want to domain, they want to rule on the country, on that particular area, and that's why they establish their colonies on that part. Okay, now already India it was under British rule. So many Europeans they came in India, they settled down over there, they started to rule on India, they established their colonies over there. French, Dutch, Portuguese, Britishers were there, but finally in the year 1945, especially the Britishers they were there and their colonies were there. But now the people from the India they were awake and now they wanted freedom, they wanted independence, and this decolonization process had been started in India in this year. Now student, here the campaigns of civil disobedience which was led by Gandhiji in India during the interwars years had exacerbated Great Britain. India it was a poor country but one with a large population. It played main role on the world stage by making itself the primary advocate of neutralist anti-colonialism. If we talk about the Second World War, so the British government did not have the means to face a new colonial war, and it was eventually decided to grant independence to Indian subcontinent in August 1947. But the period was marked by violent clashes between the Hindu and Muslim communities. While Gandhiji and Nehru, these main leaders of the Congress party, they advocated Indian unity, the Muslim League, directed by Ali Jinnah, called for the creation of an independent Muslim state. The violence between these two states sides it was increased and it was degenerated into a civil war. In February 1947, British decided to remove the country, and on 15th August 1947 it was partitioned into two independent states, India with a Hindu majority and Pakistan with a Muslim majority. The Republic of India was proclaimed in January 1950 once the constitution had been drawn up, but it is remained a member of British Commonwealth. So here student, decolonization, this is the process of ending the colonial rule and handing over the political and administrative power to the local people. By whom? By the colonialist. Colonialist means who established their colonies. So it was a process where colonial rule ended and now the political power, administrative power, it was handed over to local people by colonialists. Okay, now when we talk about decolonization, so there we can see three stages. First one is to opposition to colonialism, means when we fight for the colonialism. Second, struggle for independence, and third one, the nation under colonization regaining their independence. So these three main stages are there under this colonization. Now we have seen that India, it became independent on 15th August 1947, and that time there existed several princely states in India. Now government, what they had done, they had given the authority to choice to decide whether to accede to in India or not. So this was the authority which was given to this princely state in India. So if this state they had decided against it, then it would be have become very difficult to create the Indian Union. So that time we wanted unity in India, we wanted all this princely state they should come together. That time only the India can be united one, and if somebody is going to oppose this thing, so that time it was very difficult for India to be united. Okay, so that's why Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he was the first Deputy Prime Minister as well as he was the Home Minister of India, and he tried to give his best. He pursued most of the rulers of the state in favor of acceding to India. Acceding means to become the part of India, so that the political integration of India it could be possible. So in this lesson we are going to talk about all this thing of all this decolonization and how princely state they included into India, that we are going to see in this lesson. Okay, now student, first point is 7.1, decolonization to political integration of India. Okay, now when India got freedom, so that time near about 600 princely states were there in India. So student, before the partition of India in 1947, about 600 princely states were there, which was also called as native state, which were existed in India, and these states they were not fully and formally part of British India. The parts of the Indian subcontinent which had not been conquered by the British but under indirect rule. So things moved quickly after the partition of British India in 1947. By the end of 1949, all of the states had chosen to accede to one of the newly independent state of India or Pakistan, or else had been conquered. So by the Indian Independence Act of 1947, British gave up this authority to the states that and left each of them to free to choose whether to join one of the newly independent countries of India and Pakistan or to remain outside them. For a short time, some of the rulers explored the possibility of the federation of the state separate from either, but this came to nothing. Most of the state they decided to accede to India or to Pakistan, such as Junagadh, Hyderabad. On 18 September 1948, Bilaspur, 1948, Bhopal, 1949. Travancore, it also chose to remain an independent country. That time political integration it was the biggest challenge which was faced by leaders of independent India. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel he handled situation with the great skill and with the great tact. He took an intended approach and won the confidence of the rulers of all these states, only with the exceptions of Junagadh, Hyderabad, and Kashmir. The remaining state responded positively to the appeal and merged in India. After that, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel he adopted a stern policy and resolved the problem of accession of those states who were unwilling to accede. Stern means student very seriously he looked into that matter and he tried to resolve the problems of the accession of those states. Now first it was Junagadh. It was a princely state in Saurashtra, Gujarat. Uh, the people of this state they were ready to accede to India, but the problem was the Nawab of Junagadh he wanted to merge in Pakistan. So that time that's why there was the conflict between Nawab and the local people. So common people they opposed the Nawab decision and Nawab he escaped to Pakistan. In February 1948, Junagadh it merged in India. So in this map student you can see that in Gujarat state Junagadh this this was the state which was in Saurashtra. Now student next question was about Hyderabad. So Hyderabad that time it was the largest princely state in India which was very rich. In this state that time we could see the people who were living, those people were Telugu, Kannada and Marathi. And this state it was under by Nizams. Nizam he put so many restrictions on the local people, the civil and the political rights of his subjects to a great extent. To fight against the suppressive policies of Nizam, the people of this state they established so many organizations. Some of the organizations were called as Andhra Parishad, which was in Telangana, Maharashtra Parishad, which was in Marathwada, and Karnataka Parishad, which was in Karnataka. Swami Ramananda Tirtha, he led Hyderabad freedom struggle very skillfully, tactfully, with the help of so many loyal workers of these three organizations. First, he did think that was he founded Hyderabad State Congress and he gave new face to the struggle of Hyderabad's accessions. Now that time the Hyderabad State Congress it passed a resolution which was in the favor of that Hyderabad should merge in India. But Nizam he was the person who was opposed to this idea because he was in fear that if he is going to merge his state into India, so that time he could lose his hold from that state. So he wanted to join Pakistan, but the local people, they were in favor of India, while the ruler was in favor of Pakistan, and that was the conflict of the Hyderabad. Kazim Razvi, who could exercise considerable influence over Nizams, he founded an organization which was called as Razakar. So here the Kazim Razvi and his organization, they practiced many atrocities against the people who were fighting for democracy. The Razakars were Muslim separatists who advocated the continuation of Nizam's rules and tried to convince Nizam to accede to Pakistan. After accession to Pakistan proved impossible owing to the distance of Hyderabad from Pakistan, Razvi he encouraged the Nizam to take hardline stance and ordered the Razakars to resist the accession of Hyderabad to the newly formed government of India. Razvi, he was the person who travelled to Delhi and he had a stormy meeting with Indian leader Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that time. He was one of the founder of Majlis-e Muslimin, which was a political party intended for the uplift of Muslim. Kazim Razvi and his organization, they practiced many atrocities which was against the people who were fighting for democracy. So he wanted to merge Hyderabad into Pakistan. Nizam was not ready to accept these policies. He was averse to any negotiation and he just closed all the channels of meditation. So Kazim Razvi, he was the person who practiced many cruel act against the people who were in the fighting of the democracy. Finally, Indian government launched a policy campaign against Nizam. In this campaign, it was named as Operation Polo. So student, here I want to give you information about Operation Polo. What was this actually? So the Operation Polo, it was actually the code name of the Hyderabad police action which was happened in September 1948 by then newly independent Dominion of India against Hyderabad state. Operation Polo, it was a military operation in which the Indian armed forces invaded Nizam's ruled princely state, annexing it into Indian Union. This operation, it led to massive violence on communal lines. The India Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru appointed a commission known as Sundarlal Committee, which reports which was not released until 2013 concluded that as a very reasonable and modest estimate. So under this operation, finally on 17 September 1948, Nizams finally they surrender and Hyderabad state was merged in India. Now next, which is very famous issue, that is the Kashmir issue. Student, Jammu and Kashmir, which was also known as Kashmir and Jammu, it was a princely state during the British East India Company. as well as British Raj in India from 1846 to 1947. The princely state was created after the First Anglo-Sikh War, when the East India Company, which had annexed the Kashmir Valley, Jammu, Ladakh from the Sikhs as war indemnity, then sold to the region to the Raja of Kashmir, to the Raja of Jammu, Gulab Singh, for 75 lakhs rupees. Now, at the time of the partition of India, what happened? And the political integration of India, Hari Singh, he was the ruler of the state. So what he did, he delayed his making a decision about the future of Jammu and Kashmir. However, an uprising in the western district of the state, followed by an attack by raiders from the neighboring northwest frontiers province, supported by Pakistan, forced his hand. On 26 October 1947, Hari Singh, he acceded to India in return for the Indian military being airlifted to Kashmir to engage the Pakistan supported forces, starting Kashmir conflicts. The western and the northern district, presently known as Azad Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan, passed to the control of Pakistan. While remaining territory, it remained under Indian control as the Indian administered union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So Hari Singh, he was a ruler of the state of Kashmir, and he decided neither to join India nor Pakistan after independence. Pakistan had plans to annex Kashmir to its territory. Therefore, the Pakistan began to pressurize King Hari Singh. Now, what happened on 22nd October 1947? Armed bands of intruders, they attacked Kashmir from the Pakistan border. And that time the King Hari Singh, who wanted to maintain independent status, he asked India for his help. So the India gave help. On 27th October 1947, he consented to merge Kashmir in India and officially submitted the agreement to Government of India. The Indian Army was sent for Kashmir's protection. So when Indian armies, they reached to Kashmir, so that time they captured a main portion of Kashmir's territory, and that was acquired by the intruders from Pakistani border. However, they managed to keep their hold on some portion. 1948, India presented the Kashmir issue in United Nations. Thus, Kashmir issue became an international issue. United Nations could not pursue Pakistan to withdraw their troops from the territory of Kashmir occupied by them. However, then the National Conference Party, they decided on plebiscite to solve this issue and to accede Kashmir to India. Now the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir was drafted, and since then Jammu and Kashmir has been an integral part of Republic of India, and it was accorded a special status under Article 370. So today we can say that Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir as well as Ladakh part, it is the integral part of Republic of India. Okay students, so today we are going to stop here. Today we learn about the decolonization. What is mean decolonization? Then we had seen that most of the state, they agreed to come under the states of come under the United India. Only few issues or few problems remained over there, and that was the problem of Junagadh, Hyderabad, and then Kashmir. And then we had seen that how the all these states, they came under India. So next lecture we are going to continue with the next issues of the decolonization. Bye and have a nice day. Thank you.